Once upon an early September morning, roughly 450 sleepy-eyed 12-year-olds walked through the front doors of South County. Still half asleep, they wandered through the large wide halls to the first classes of secondary school, oblivious to the 6-year saga about to unfold before them. Thus begins the story I've entitled, From Colts to Stallions. Over the next few days, we tried to get our bearings, just as newborn stallions try to find legs to stand on. We learned how to find and open our lockers, the shortest distance from point A to point B, and how on earth the cafeteria worked. But this task was made doubly difficult, because instead of being an environment our older siblings and friends could tell us about, we were opening a brand new school. On top of this unknown landscape was a collection of teachers gathered from all over, many of whom nobody knew at all. So it goes without saying that many of these foreigners, who later became our closest mentors, initially scared us stiff. However, as the days and weeks went by, regardless of our anxieties and apprehension, we all assimilated into the culture of secondary school. In the 8th grade, we were on top of the middle school, a position we felt at the time to be equivalent to being a senior. And oh, how foolish we were. Some things had changed for us since the spring. The starting bell now rang at 9 and granted us a precious extra hour of sleep, which felt like a blessing, up until we realized that, in the winter, it was nearly dark when the bus dropped us off at home in the afternoon. But despite the small change, everything that year ran pretty smoothly. That is, until mid-April. We, and the rest of the nation, were shocked at the events that took place in Blacksburg on the 16th. Many of us waited anxiously for a phone call confirming that our loved ones were safe. We were terrified, and we were saddened. But our herd held fast, possibly feeling more unified than ever, and we made it to this day. Those growing colts were starting to run. Freshman year rolled around, and we were now young stallions. Once again, we were up before 7, another schedule change that wreaked havoc on my alarm clock. My mother. This year, we were brimming with confidence, knowing that it began the final leg of our K-12 education. We experienced the newfound joys of high school, including our first homecoming, where the football field buzzed with excitement. And let's not forget the freshman sports we could finally play in, or the music department we could involve ourselves in, one that has since won numerous awards, including a number of consecutive honor bands. Sophomore year wasn't too different, only we welcomed a new member to the stallion herd and bade farewell to another. Our original principal, Mr. Rumberger, waved goodbye, and our current chief, Mrs. Lip, took his place. A historic election took place during the fall, and our political ideologies clashed in countless debates across the cafeteria tables. The theater department taught us the value of tolerance and brought us to tears through the story of Matthew Shepard and the Laramie Project. Some of us even had the pleasure of experiencing a fire drill with the middle school after our school day had ended. Junior year greeted us with unseasonal cold, and Old Man Winter dropped on us a blessing and a curse, foot upon foot of snow. One winter vacation was quickly followed by the next as the frosty powder continued to fall. Some of us rejoiced at the extra rest, others panicked, knowing AP tests and a longer year were right around the corner. But despite this disruption to our school year, things quickly resumed as the spring thaw renewed our spirits and we galloped into the summer. And then we found ourselves, after 5 long years, walking once again through those front doors. Only this time, we truly were on top of the school as the senior class. Many of us began the year frantically applying to college, well aware that the January 1st deadline was approaching at a rapid pace. Others planned to enter the armed services, while still others decided upon entering the workforce to keep our economy thriving. Regardless of our plans after high school, there was something about this year that none of us could avoid: senioritis. Parents and teachers watched as we withered away, gradually taking on the symptoms of apathy and lethargy associated with this terrible disease. Yet there was some reprise this spring, as the warm air and fresh grass gave us a reason to finish our homework. Our very own Stallion Sluggers were winning their way to the state baseball finals. Way to go, boys. With newfound excitement and graduation not too far off, we finally made it to this day as fully matured stallions. And this, while very abbreviated, has been the story of the class of 2011, the first to complete all 6 years at South County. It's the common bond we all share, 6 years of our lives intertwined. In this powerful connection, a third of our lives spent together. is what makes it so hard for me to say goodbye to you all. While many of you may not think it, after how I've complained for all of these years, high school has been the greatest experience of my life. I've learned the value of camaraderie, found new ways to cope with the twists and turns of life, and I've even flat out learned, which is a rather crazy notion after spending all this time in school. We all owe something to our soon-to-be alma mater, South County, and to the life lessons we've learned from each other. And now I can't believe we will be going our separate ways, possibly never to see each other again. So I won't believe it. I won't say goodbye. Instead, I will say good journey. Because regardless of where the roads of life may take us, and whether or not we'll ever see each other again, we all share an intersection at 8501 Silverbrick Road. Thank you.